Hello, it's TruthSOSeeker here. I'm back with a 2v2 for you guys this time. Ilias is going to be running Atriox, and I'm going to be running as Cutter. I was actually thinking about running Decimus in this game, as you can see. We were talking about potentially what combos we should be doing. I was thinking about doing Decimus where he would try to expand and I would try to, rush down the enemy and that kind of thing. But I just decided to go Cutter because I thought that'd be a nice balance to have with us. And ironically, our opponents are actually going the same, so we actually have a mirror game for this one. I will say already, from the last 2v2 I posted, I definitely did better in this game than the last one. I didn't get Tech 2 at the 11-minute mark, which was... I mean, I understand why I didn't, but this way, I feel at least this was a lot better of a time to get Tech 2. So, we're actually going to have some sort of coordination compared to last game. We're actually going to have our units grouped down in the middle to try and cap some nodes early on. And I'm going to go for a double supply pad build, supply, just because I feel that having a strong eco supply-wise is very important early on as Cutter, because you need to be able to mass produce infantry. I feel like that's what really staples UNSC, is the fact that they can produce infantry so fast and that it's such a good option. So you see we're going to cap this node here. Since I'm Cutter and I have the leader point, I think it makes sense for me to be capping the nodes and not Ilias, because, well, I just cap faster. However, it would really help if you actually get the point for it, because otherwise you're just kind of not capping as fast as you could be. I actually thought that I had a generator queued up already, so that's why I was going supply pad, but I did queue that. And we're going to start capping this one, but I think this was probably actually just a mistake, because I was kind of curious if it could or not, because, I mean, it was a veteranized grunt, and we did have one Marine, but as you'll see here, it kind of just ended up not working, especially because we weren't shooting the same guy. I would have normally pulled out, but if you look at the minimap, I actually have my other Marines coming to help, so... And Ilias, I think, actually is sending his other grunts as well. So we're going to be able to at least take this out after that one grunt casualty. And now that I'm capping that node, we're going to go ahead and head into the center here and start trying to cap that one. I'm always hesitant to go immediately for the middle one, because if they have the mass of their army together, then we could just end up overwhelmed, because we're not going heavy infantry, we're just building some. But we're in now. We actually see they're there, and annoyingly the Sentinels actually end up targeting me, which is kind of annoying since, they were the ones that aggroed them. We were actually potentially going to engage that, but seeing as they walked back in the middle, we decided not to. I think maybe we still could have, but that one flamethrower did spook us a little. Now, Ilias is going to grab this base right here, because we were kind of thinking about how we should grab bases, and since this base is the weaker base, I think this is the weaker base, because they have the ledge they can hit from, and it just seems like it's more vulnerable in general, that we're going to want the person who can build a shield to do it, and since he can, buy bases really cheaply and just mass produce them, spam them out, it makes sense for the Atriox to do it. I'm just sitting here kind of getting some free shots off on his flamethrower. I guess he just didn't see it or whatever. I'm going to have a Marine get in that garrison in front of my base as well, just so they don't, do anything with it. I'm not sure how big of a deal it is, but since they have a Chosen, I could see if they got a Chosen in that thing, it being a real problem. I'm also going ahead here and I'm getting some more snipers because, as you may have seen, they are doing flamethrowers and it would make sense to have them. But yeah, you see, he's just leaving his guys here. I don't know, maybe he had a rally point set there or something. He probably did. I mean, you can see he sees now what he's doing, so he's going to try and get them out. I'm trying to have my one sniper here, just kind of add on some little damage, do hidden runs. That's a nice tactic you can do with snipers, as you can do a quick turnaround so that they fire their shot, and then you retreat again. It's even more strong with Cutter, just because, his units are much faster. which I think almost amplifies the strength of the sniper in that sense. And here, actually, Ilias gets a nice suicide grunt off on those flamethrowers. Like, I think he kills, like, somewhere between, like, 3 and 5 of them, which is a really nice number. I am noticing my snipers missing an annoyingly high amount of shots. I know it's natural, but considering you're paying 150 power for that thing, I'm kind of surprised it's missing as many shots as he is. I do understand when it connects it does a lot of damage, but it just seems annoying to me that a lot of the shots are missing. Like you see here, probably like 3 of those 4 shots missed. Or at least on that last batch. But this is one of the great things about snipers, is even if they have flamethrowers, if you just get, honestly, just a group of like 3 to 5 snipers, you can basically just drive a full army of units away because they can't hit you. And you just will just out damage them completely. Now, I was going to keep pursuing, but you can see like there's a good bit of stuff here now, and I don't really think I can fight it. So I'm going to go ahead and try and run here. I was trying to do hidden runs with my guys because, you know, I could try and potentially get some shots off. But I'm going to try and pull back now because I can't really get anything else off. And of course, right as I'm like trying to do hidden runs and go away, he goes ahead and he drops down an ODST squad. And I didn't really notice this so much until this game, but ODSTs actually really wreck snipers. Like, and even more than just snipers, they're just actually really good in general when you consider everything that they do. I mean, when you think about it, like, they're good against rangers even. I've seen them in combat against them, and they're actually really, really strong against rangers. You can actually fight them. And, I mean, when you consider that with normal marines that can't fight them, that's a big difference. But, yeah, now they're hitting our base. I'm wanting to drop ODSTs on those locusts. I'm asking Ilias if he can give me some kind of sight so that I can do that. Because I've noticed this as well. ODSTs are actually really good against locusts as well. Just take a look at how much damage they'll do here to this one locust. See, it's already dead. So I go ahead and I'm trying to aim at this guy here. I use my grenades on it just to try and kill it faster. And now that those grenades went off and it's dead, I'm gonna pull back. Honestly, I don't really know if I needed to pull back. I guess it's not so bad. I think they had 2 snipers, so I guess it's reasonable to pull back here. I'm storing up a lot of supply, but I don't know if it's honestly that ridiculous because there's a lot of things I can pay supply for, and you see I'm already down to like, I was down to like 800 there after all that investment. But yeah, they're trying to push in again with some more locusts, and we're going to try and push out here because we figure, okay, the shield's down, so we can't really let them rest anymore. Ilias has some hunters, so that'll be able to assist us, at least. And I'm going to go ahead and throw a sniper in there, actually, just to not necessarily give it more health, because that sniper was basically dead bar, but more just to try and give us sight, which it did. And it did die anyway, so rip the sniper. I do realize, however, that I'm not producing units nearly as fast as I would like to, so I go ahead and get another barracks queued so that I can start to produce whenever it finishes. And of course, they managed to stop that. But even more so, just from what I have here, I realize, oh wait, I can kill that, so I'm actually going to run in here and try and dish out a lot of damage. He does have some rangers left, so you can see my one Cyclops is getting a little weak, but I actually do manage to kill off everything that they have here without losing anything. And I think part of that is due to the Nightling Gales being, I think, actually a little bit too strong. But, I mean, it's just, Cyclops just wrecked Locust in general, and I had snipers, I even had an ODST. So, I guess it's not that surprising that I won, or more so outright crushed in that engagement. I'm following this engineer here just to try and kill it. I actually just randomly kill a sniper in the process. But I see he has some Locusts. I was thinking about maybe pushing in because I have 2 Cyclops, but I figure I'm going a bit too far into their territory, so I'm going to pull back out here. But if you saw while I was backing away, he actually had a good bit of Locusts. Ilias thought I was pushing in, so he was going to try and come in and assist, but we're going to pull out now. We do see, like you saw, there was like 7+ Locusts there. And not that I think that's actually that scary. I really don't think Locusts are that scary anymore. But you see, I'm still building Cyclops anyway, because it's always nice to have them as an option. I have my ODST drop ready. I nearly have my Cyclops drop, and I just got it. I don't actually have any pop for it, but I figure, okay, if I lose a unit, then I can go ahead and drop it then. But yeah, Ilias was going to teleport, but he figures, okay, he's basically here already, so he's just going to come in from the back. And you can just see, like, okay, he throws a bulwark, but that is not going to save that army. You see, that army just falls apart completely. I figure that's basically dead, so I'm just going to go ahead and aim down the snipers. And it's here I realized, oh no, he threw those grenades, and I was really worried that they were going to go off, because that honestly might have just killed the mini base if they did. But for some reason they didn't go off, and I'm not really sure why. I've had my expansion, by the way, for a while now. I should have been building on that more. I guess I was really absorbed in this battle, because this was a nice battle to win. Winning this probably won us the game, to be honest. I think we were already better, but this just, I think, secured our advantage. Gonna have 1 Marine start capping that. I am a little worried, though, when I first come in here, because I see a lot of red lines aiming at my units, and that always kind of spooks me a little bit, to be honest. By the way, one thing I'm really glad they fixed is how units would not aim at the garrisons whenever in range, but they seem to have fixed that, and I think they even noted that in the last patch, so I'm really happy that they actually did that. But yeah, I finally see that my expansion is not being built on at all, and I'm going to go ahead and start building on that. Going to keep on upgrading all of my stuff. I'm still on Tech 2. I could have gotten Tech 3, but I'm not sure if there was that much of a need. I can see me just upgrading a bunch of other things being totally fine. I was thinking about taking that Marine out of the garrison because it didn't seem like it was that they were at that much of a point of actually trying to put an Atriox in there, but just to be safe, I figured I would leave it there. I'm going ahead and I'm getting the upgrades for my stuff. Potentially, I would like to get the upgrade for the Cyclops and the second upgrade for the Sniper, because those 2 upgrades in particular make units so much stronger. We're actually going in for a push on this base. The reason we didn't really go for it on the other base, and we could have, but the reason we didn't was just because this is a UNSC base and it's much more vulnerable. And the base position itself is much more vulnerable, on top of it being a UNSC base. So we figured that would make it much easier for us to actually take it out. See, I'm getting shelled by some stuff. I don't know if those are siege turrets or if they're Kodiaks or what. But yeah, you see I'm getting reinforcements. I'm getting the upgrade for my things. I have some Wolverines in my army now, just in case they have some air, because while I do have Marines and the potential ODSTs, those are, I would honestly say, just light anti-air. You really would preferably want to have more than that. I'm actually going to go ahead and queue up a siege turret and 3 watchtowers, and the main purpose for that is because since that's on the edge of the map, if they ever go in for a base trade, I figured that could potentially give us some extra sight so we could see it coming. And the siege turret can, always help. And since it has 3 watchtowers, it's going to have extra range. And the attack range in general is just really nice, so having extra sight to work with that range is really, really helpful. And right now we're mostly just sitting back because we figure, okay, we have a good position. I don't think there's really a need for us to push because we just dropped an Expo, so we're just going to build up and try and further our advantage. I think it could have been just as fine to maybe go for a push. I could see us trying to do it here, but the Expo that they currently have is, I think, a really secure place to have a base, to be honest. It would be pretty hard to put some pressure on that. Okay, I'm getting Tech 3. I guess we're, yeah, just looking to go in for a push. He sends a Cyclops in to try and cap that. I'm just going to go ahead and try and take that out real quick because I figure, okay, that's a free Cyclops kill, basically. And here, with this Wolverine, we actually spot that they're going in with their army here, so... while they're actually coming back to kill that Wolverine, I'm not going to lie, I was really happy to see that. Because that probably bought us right there about maybe 5 to 10 seconds. Just because they turned their whole army around to start going away. And there we actually got another Cyclops kill. And I was thinking about using the gunship, but they drop an eradication, so I'm going to pull out, and Ilias is going to use his bulwark. I could see no need to use it, but I think it was also totally fine to use it, because I think some of his units on the edge would have still gotten caught by the blast, and he may have lost some. Like, potentially a Wraith or something. I think. I don't think he has a Wraith, but I saw some units right on the edge that I could have seen him potentially losing. Now here, I come in and I see he has a lot of units. I'm trying to get my guys to get in the garrison, but they are not jumping in for whatever reason. It may be because I was doing all units. Ilias thinks it might be because he was also doing it. But he drops down his ODST Assault, and I drop a gunship. I think this was actually not necessary at all. I think this was a bit of an overreaction. Just a little bit. But, yeah, I don't think this was necessary at all. Especially because Ilias just killed the base and he was able to reinforce me. It was a little unfortunate because we could have just as well used that gunship on the next base, and that could have saved us some time potentially. But yeah, I'm pushing up onto this base now. I'm going to drop some reinforcement troops down. I have the Cyclops drop as well. I don't think that they actually have any Locusts in their group. You see, it's mostly just hunters. So they're not necessarily going to be building killers in that aspect. But yeah, the one of them just gives up at this point, which I can understand. He at least tries to drop an eradication, but he just bulwarks it. I think Bulwark is honestly a really great counter to a lot of instant hit moves like Inferno and whatnot. But yeah, Yellow's just going to kind of play this out until the end. But that's pretty much going to wrap up the game. Like, they obviously are unrecoverable at this point. I don't really do twos that much, so I'm not sure what I can say in regards to whether to expect more twos or whatnot, since I mostly, play ones and upload ones games. But if I ever have more, just let me know if you'd like to see more, because I do enjoy playing them in a more casual sense. So let me know if you want to see that. Threes is a lot harder to get, so if you want threes, it's probably going to be even less likely, but you never know. I still have that one Marine in the garrison. In terms of what to expect, I'm actually thinking about talking about Isabel in the near future, and we may be doing a podcast as well. Because I'll tell you what, the last video we got had a lot of positive feedback, and we were really surprised that people enjoyed it that much. So we will definitely try and get another one out there for you guys, since we also enjoyed doing it. But yeah, I think this is pretty much the game, because I think he's about down on his timer. Yeah. So I'd like to say thank you all for watching. Let me know if you would like to see more twos, if you'd like to see more threes, and all that. And I hope you guys enjoyed.